m'appelle Paul Koudiame. J'enseigne à Kachi Practice School. J'ai appris beaucoup de choses aujourd'hui, spécialement comment utiliser la technologie pendant nos leçons. Et je voudrais aussi suggérer au directeur de CREF que s'ils peuvent décentraliser les centres d'études pour les examens de DAF et DOF, parce que prendre, comment dirais-je, venir d'Akati jusqu'à Roux, c'est un peu long. La distance est très longue.
Alors, bonjour, je m'appelle Vasti Nunana et aujourd'hui j'ai appris le DELF et DAF et je me promets d'aller écrire cet examen et aussi le nouveau curriculum, comment les questions de l'examen va se former. Ça, c'est très important pour moi.
Commencer, nous allons demander à notre frère de nous donner la prière d'ouverture. Le nom encore c'est
Wisdom.
Wisdom, Adoba.
Très reconnaissant ce matin. Nous te remercions du fond de nos cœurs qu'une fois encore tu nous as rassemblés en tant que des champions de la langue française dans la région. Nous voulons suivre une formation qui va nous permettre de continuer à donner le mieux de nous-mêmes pour que nous puissions aider nos apprenants. Nous prions pour ton Esprit Saint d'être avec nous, avec ceux qui vont nous diriger, avec nous les participants, pour que nous puissions tirer le maximum profit de ce qui sera fait aujourd'hui. S'il te plaît, tout ce dont nous avons besoin pour que ce programme ait du succès, nous prions que tu nous aides avec ça. Ceux qui sont encore en route, nous prions que tu les amènes ici sains et saufs pour qu'ensemble, nous puissions tous bénéficier de cette formation. Nous prions pour le pardon de nos fautes. Nous venons devant toi par le biais de ton cher Fils, notre Sauveur Jésus-Christ. Amen.
Service également l'OTI, Volta et OTI. Le CREF de Rouen a été créé en 1972 et était placé sous l'ambassade de France. Mais maintenant, elle est placée sous JIS. Merci beaucoup. Soyez donc tous les bienvenus.
An expert in detail.
Thank you very much. My expectation is that by the time this workshop ends, I should be able to speak fluent French. But to tell you a very sad story, in the secondary school, I was a French student. But along the way, I was a dropout. Yes, those of you who really understand what happened during the first batch of SSH students, you know the catastrophe that some of us faced. I was a French student, but we didn't know what to learn, and the teacher didn't know what to teach because the curriculum was swindling from left to right. I remember they came and introduced the book France-Afrique and L'Agent ne fait pas le bonheur. These two books. So we were just reading, answering questions based on it, and I realized that the future was bleak. And I then ended it there. I completed, and by the grace of God, I got D. Clap for me. Those days to get D, and then my younger sister got A, and she furthered to Mount Mary's, but she is now in England. Yes, and I'm at Ameyope. That's okay. So the fundamentals of French, I do understand, but hopefully, as I said, by the end of this workshop, I should speak good French. Thank you very much. Today, you cannot call yourself just a teacher. No. You have to call or classify yourself as a 21st century teacher. And when we say 21st century teacher, there are certain things that are expected of you, regardless of whatever subject area you find yourself. Every 21st century teacher should be humble, humility, integrity. You should have a positive image. Don't be the type that will say, do as I say and not as I do. No. You should have integrity. You should be patriotic. Patriotism. Committed to your society and your nation. You should be accountable or accountability. And then a 21st century teacher should be assertive. Last but not least, the 21st century teacher should be tolerant or should have tolerance. The 21st century teacher should have a teaching philosophy or has a teaching philosophy. So to build your portfolio, these are some of the things we expect to see in your portfolio. Your learning plan or lesson plan, your quiz or exam papers, marked works, your teaching and learning resources, pictures, videos either on pen drive or on discs. All this may form your portfolio. And then the other thing we expect is your documented teaching philosophy. All those things, you can put them in a transparent bag or in a file. Are you okay? Then you are building what is referred to as the portfolio. The 21st century teacher should do is to build dossier on his or her learners. How do you build dossier on your learners? 1. You need to determine the purpose for which you want to build the dossier. Why do you want to study a particular learner in your class? What is your interest in studying a particular learner in your class? That is the purpose. Find that purpose. Now, determine the kind of information you want or need from that child. Then after that, you need to gather information on your target. When they say your target, we are talking about the learner. From multiple sources, such as academia, observation at play, and in the classroom. You as a 21st century teacher should observe that there are some children, when they are in the class, they behave as if they are deaf and dumb. They don't talk. But if you like, go and stand somewhere and observe them during playtime. Have you ever observed such? They are there. Then you ask yourself, why? What is happening in the classroom for which this child does not talk in the classroom, but when he or she is outside, he is the leader? Then you start building a form of dossier. Then you are knowing exactly the interest rate of that child or what the child has interest in. This is where our education has deviated in Ghana, whereby all of us here must pass English, Math, Science before you come and pursue French. Am I talking sense? Yes. There is total deviation. I'm coming to pursue French, but I must pass English, Math, Science, RME, if possible. So there is deviation. Know the interest of that child and then push the child to achieve his or her goal. Use different forms of assessment methods. It could be formal, it could be informal, it could be observation, or it could be interviews to gather your information based on the child. You can call the child. What happens in the classroom for which you do this or you don't do this? What happens on the field for which you do this or you don't do this? And by documenting this, you are building total dossier on that child. Now, please,
whatever you might have observed about this child, don't go and discuss it with your colleague teacher. It's the child's weakness. Are we together? It's the child's weakness. Otherwise, if the child gets to know tomorrow that my teacher sold out my weakness to somebody, it will disturb the child. There is something we call social and emotional learning. It will disturb the child. Are we together? Go on. Here in school, and this teacher taught my child that 3 plus 3 equals 11. And my child comes home to say 3 plus 3 equals 11. Me being another teacher, I said, no, that is so. He said, Mama, Daddy, no, this is what my teacher taught me. Mix Christians and Muslims to work together. Mix Muslims, Christians, and traditional believers to work together. Make sure ladies are in each group. Make sure men are in each, or boys are in each group. Do not go and form your groups on tribal basis. Do not go and put Catholics together. Do not go and put Presbyterians together, Protestants together, the charismatic together. No. Mix them. Be very sensitive of these things. That is why, as a 21st century teacher, you need to know your learners one after the other. So I ask again, how many of you have been visiting the homes of your learners? Sometimes it's necessary. It's necessary to go home and find out why this particular learner is always coming to school late. There is a problem somewhere. Sometimes if you go into the problem and you know it, you will cry as a teacher. And then we are also saying that adopt universal designs, learning, that's a universal design learning, which is UDL, class control, class management, and cell, etc. Now, when we talk about DESI, or gender equality and social inclusions, please note, this is very, very important to me. This should reflect in your teaching and learning resources. Are we together? Let it reflect in your teaching and learning resources. Gone are the days when the teacher drew the bank manager as a man and the secretary as a woman. And this is the reason why when you go to commercial bank now and you say you want to see the manager, and then the security tells you, go straight, first door on your left. You open and you see a lady seated by the table. You say, secretary, can I see your boss? Because in your mind, you think that a lady cannot be a bank manager, because that is what you were taught. These are the sort of teaching and learning resources that were used for you those days. You want to draw a lawyer, then you draw a man. You want to draw a soldier, you draw a man. You draw a girl washing the dishes and then the dresses, and you draw a boy playing football. Have you not been making these mistakes? Please, it is now a thing of the past. It is now a thing of the past. Both boy and girl cooking. Both boy and girl washing dresses and dishes. Girls and boys play football together. That is what we as 21st century teachers are expected to teach now. Very, very important. Okay, you can come. Social and emotional learning. CEL means social and emotional learning. We'll get there. So we are saying that adopt universal design for learning. When they say universal design for learning, the type of design that you will use for every member of the class to understand. That means that apart from what I'm doing, talking, from group, they can learn from groups. Use videos, use audios, use the play approach, use the demonstration approach, because I may understand it by what you are saying, but somebody can only understand through demonstration. Are we together? Now, social and emotional learning is saying that as a 21st century teacher, do not do anything in the classroom that will make your learner feel emotionally disturbed. The child stands up. I remember those days when we were on teaching practice, somebody drew a human being, a woman carrying a baby at the back in a market. And then the person was under supervision. Those days. So the moment the student teacher displayed the picture, he said, "What can you see?" And then the first child, teacher. I said, "Yes." He said, "Goat." He said, "Goat." And the teacher said, "You stupid nigger, sit down and listen and reason to your students or your learners today. We are telling you that you have emotionally destroyed the child. Gone are the days when a child scores 0, then you draw human head over 10. You can't do it again. You are emotionally destroying the child. One serious mistake that I will caution most of you, because you are at the basic level, that you do when she answers, or you want to call her to answer a question, say, "Yes, my dear," and then copy. That statement means a lot to the learner. Why did you refer to her as my dear, but me, Kofi? I don't mean anything to my teacher. This is social and emotional learning. So we have to be very, very, very careful. What is good for the goose is good for the gander. So we have to be very, very, very careful with our choice of words when we are in the classroom. Are we together? Okay, move on. Okay. Please move to the next one because of time. Yes. So I would like to plead with all teachers here that whenever you are in the classroom as a 21st century teacher, always hold firmly issues of gender equality and social inclusion. Girl, boy, girl, boy, girl, boy. That is the gender aspect. Social inclusion is very common, especially in mission schools. Why is it that there is that child that is very, very brainy, very respectful, very dutiful in Ola here, but because she is not a Catholic, she can't stand for SRC president? It's a social issue. Come to EP College of Education at Mejope, there is this Muslim that is very brainy, very respectful, always working, but because he's not a member of the EP church, you can't stand for any SRC position. Are we together? Now, another one. Why is it that in our classrooms, we have the blackboard cleaner as a boy? How do you call it? Wait, I'm coming there. The blackboard cleaner, the cupboard boy. Cupboard boy. But the moment it is about office, we say girl. It is our duty to go and change these things. It is our duty to go and change these things. Why is it that we always want the men to be the prefects and then the women to assist? Who says women cannot take leadership positions for men to assist them? These are some of the issues as far as gender equality and social inclusion is concerned. And social and emotional issues, as I already told you, some of the things that we do to demoralize our learners in the classroom. Some comments, some names, because somebody else Obelo. The child may not like it. The child may not like it. You are demoralizing that child. Are we together? Please, next one. Questions and answers time. I've been talking alone. Thank you.